Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. For all you guys returning, welcome to the channel if you are new. I'm Shooter. Recently I put up a poll, and in that poll I told y'all what one of the contestants for my next video, which is this video, will be, and that was the Starving Deviljho from Monster Hunter. And I let y'all pick what it would go up against in this video. I gave y'all the options of Sabira, I think her name is. She's a mutated, like, 3-headed Giga from Dino Crisis. The other options were Grimlock, specifically Bayverse Grimlock from, obviously, the Bayverse Transformers movies. Alpha 06 from Jurassic World, the game. Yes, there's a Jurassic World game named Jurassic World, the game. Super creative name, I know. And the final option was the Savage Acrocanthosaurus from the Ark Editions mod for Ark Survival Evolved. In that poll, there was a tie between Grimlock and the Acro. So in this video, I will be making two kind of what-if scenarios. One where the Deviljho fights off against the Savage Acro, and the other situation is where it will fight off against Grimlock. And that's how we're going to do this. So we're going to start off with the Savage Acro versus the Starving Deviljho. So beginning with the Deviljho, the Starving Deviljho that we will be using for this video is just confirmed to be the strongest Deviljho in history. It is the most powerful. It's stronger than every other Deviljho in the Monster Hunter series, and that includes the Savage Deviljho, which upscales off of some of the higher tier Elder Dragons. Now, Elder Dragons, in terms of their strength, it's kind of a pretty broad range from as low as town level to as high as country level. But for this video, we're going to be going with the higher ends of country level for the Savage Deviljho scaling, which would just put it deeper into country level. And obviously, the Starving Deviljho, just being a way bigger, way battered, way stronger version, would just be even deeper into country level, maybe even large country level. But either way, if it is into the large country level ranges, it would only be the lower ends of large country level. So yeah, that would be the kind of range we're looking at in terms of attack potency and durability. I'm not really aware of speed stuff for the Deviljho. However, based off of its massive size, obviously it's easily gonna be in those high subsonic ranges in terms of speed, just based off size alone. I can obviously tell you that. In terms of reaction time, I'm not exactly sure how quick it is. However, because I'm not a big Monster Hunter nerd, so basically all of the scaling I'm using for this video comes from one of my friends. Shout out to Goji Rex for helping me. And I forgot to ask about speed scaling for the Deviljho. However, seeing as this is Monster Hunter and there's all kinds of monsters that have different abilities, for this video, I'm going to assume that one of them has lightning powers, or several of them have lightning powers, and that one of them has a statement or a feat where they dodge lightning or something. I'm trying to help the Deviljho here, okay? I'm helping Lil Bro out for this fight, or these two fights here. Assuming that it can react to lightning, this would give the Deviljho massively hypersonic reaction time and combat speed. So yeah, overall the Deviljho looking pretty good. In the hacks department, it has a rage mode, which just makes it stronger. It has a breath attack, I'm pretty sure they have like some sort of kind of form of regeneration. Most fictional monsters have some form of healing factor, so I'm gonna assume that the Deviljho does too. And yeah, overall, he's pretty tame in the hacks department. He's not like busted, but he's not like terrible either. It's not that bad. But how does it compare to the Savage Acro? And I ain't even gonna hold y'all. The Deviljho's cooked here. The Savage Acro via in-game stats should scale relative to, if not just straight up above, the freaking King Titan. And I'm not talking about the normal King Titan. I'm talking about the Alpha King Titan, the super corrupted one. I think it's important to note that the King Titan is able to stop Earth's, or is it Earth? It was able to stop a giant planet's rotation with a singular punch. One punch, and the entire rotation of the planet stopped. Calcs for this that I know of get into the like multi-continental plus ranges, which obviously is way above large country level. So, yeah, the Savage Acro got a little bit of a attack potency advantage here. I've also heard of like star metas for the King Titan, and obviously Savage Acro scale is relative, if not just above those. So I don't know what those like star metas for the King Titan are, but I've heard of them. I just don't know about how like the legitimacy of those scans or whatever that gets it to star level. So for this video, we will be ignoring that. However, I'm pretty sure there is star scaling for the King Titan. I don't know how it gets that scaling. But some people say it has that. I'm not using it for this video because obviously the Savage Acro doesn't need it. So yeah, anyway, moving on. In terms of speed, the Savage Acro is just, it's absurdly fast. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. Most like really big arc carnivores are like deceptively fast, and the gigantic boss over here is no exception. I don't have an exact speed calc for the running speed of these guys. However, they should be like they're like in between Giga and car speeds in terms of like running. So I would assume that the Savage Acro would fall into those like high subsonic to like low supersonic ranges in terms of overall running speed. And in terms of reaction speed, I mean, it scales to like tech stuff and like lasers, so like LS to FTL in terms of its reaction time, I would say is fair. If you want to say it only kind of scales to like laser stuff, I guess you can say it would be like relativistic plus, but that's still way faster than massively hypersonic. So yeah, either way, it's still faster in the reaction time and combat speed department. In terms of hexes, it has like really OP regeneration. It has several different like sound-based roars, and sound-based roars. Yep, yeah, that's kind of what a roar is, shooter. You know, guys, I promise. I speak English. You know, it's definitely not like 12 p.m. right now. Okay, it's not late for me right now, you know, just bear with me, guys. It has like a lot of really like powerful sound-based abilities, super regeneration. It has its surge, adrenaline, overpowered rage bullcrap that is ridiculous. That takes its stats from like multi-continental plus to like I would probably say in like the planetary ranges. It bumps it up by like a substantial amount. So yeah. The Savage Acro, I think it's fair to say, y'all get the point. The Savage Acro would hand the starving Deviljho its butt in a fight. It would realistically, it would just one-shot the Deviljho. One roar is more than enough to just make the starving Deviljho just like blow up, unironically. And there's not really much the Deviljho can really do about it. It is too weak to harm the Savage Acro. It's slower than the Savage Acro. The Savage Acro out-haxes it. It one-shots it. The Deviljho's only real advantages would be like size and I think lifting strength. But then again, the Savage Acro scales to the Alpha King Titan, which could stop the rotation of the entire planet with a single punch, meaning that punch would have to overpower the gravity and like force that makes the planet rotate. You get the point. It has to overpower the gravity of the entire planet to do that. So yeah, it's a lot of lifting strength that the Savage Acro scales to. I don't know exactly what like class of lifting strength that is, but I know it's a lot. It is a lot. It's a whole lot. So yeah, you could make the argument that the starving Deviljho's only real advantage is size, which obviously in a cross-verse matchup, 9 times out of 10 is a literal non-factor. So yeah, overall Savage Acro just one-shots. But how does Bayverse Grimlock compare to the starving Deviljho? In terms of scaling that I've heard from several of my scaling friends, Grimlock from the Bayverse is only like moon level, which obviously is already way above large country level. So yeah, that's a thing. But I expected it to actually scale a lot higher, seeing as it could like Grimlock scales to Optimus, who has several like universal to high universal arguments and like statements and feats and just bullcrap, ridiculously overpowered scaling. And even if you don't like that scaling for Optimus, he still has like solar to like multi-solar like feats and statements. Anyway, so yeah. And in terms of reaction time, assuming Grimlock just scales to all the other Transformers, it would be like several billion times faster than light. So like really deep into MFTL. So yeah. Very, very fast. And in terms of speed, it would still be in those kind of like in terms of travel speed, we're still in those like high subsonic, low supersonic ranges. So just based off sheer size alone, yet again. So yeah. Grimlock also would just maul the Deviljho, unironically. To be fair to the Deviljho, I'm pretty sure there are some higher end scaling for the Deviljho that I'm pretty sure I've heard of. It has like star metas, but I couldn't find any of these, and my Monster Hunter nerd friend Warblades Omega got offline as soon as I went to go ask him what how high the starving Deviljho scales. So, and he's the one that I heard about all of those metas for. So I don't really know those arguments. If the Deviljho does have them and they're valid and you want to use them, then you could make the argument for like the Savage Acro fight being a lot closer, due to the fact that the Savage Acro also has some like star arguments that I am not really aware of. However, I still would say that the Savage Acro would win just because speed and hexes and the fact that it has much greater lifting strength, and the fact that it has, like, its rage is a lot better. So, yeah. I would still say that the Savage Acro would win that fight anyway. And obviously, Grimlock wins. Going from, like, large country level to star level isn't gonna help you when you're fighting a character that has, like, universal arguments. So, yeah. The Starving Deviljho loses both encounters. And, yeah, with all that yapping out the way, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.